And boys. And girls. And boys. 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 Good morning. Welcome back to Lower House Farms. Let's feed some cattle. I think she's nearly full. Just out here looking at this forage dry now, so this is after being grazed already. And it got slurry there about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it'll probably be grazed again now another 2 or 3 weeks. So, and it'll be left alone then until the spring. So yeah, I'm delighted with this now. It's going away. It needed a bit of slurry, but it's flying away now again. So get it grazed down good and tight now and put it off to bed then for Christmas or for the year. So that's to fill the barley we spray or planted up there last week. Spray it now today. We'll be going cultivating that now tomorrow, the day after, and get that planted as well. We'll have all that done, then we can go on holidays until next March. Because sure, tillage farmers only work 3 days a year. So the dairy boys tell me anyway. So here checking these boys. They're grazing huge covers there now, but I only put them into it yesterday actually, and they're making a fair old dent in it already. So we had a wicked hassle with these just jumping across wires, but there was a wire up there was broken. We never knew it, so the power was down, but we've been sorted now anyway. There's good old calves in it now, to be fair. There's a grey calf, and he's a bit bellyish. But yeah, they're grand. Well, I was on the way down. I left out the other ones as well. The other group on this farm. Left them be following me way down. These are the weaker group of calves now, -3 or 4. So since we got them out, separated, they're really after getting into their stride. They just need a little bit of room. I'm grazing a cover of, I don't know, 3,000 maybe. But they'll graze their way down. So look, like this is a massive cover. This should probably have been cut for silage, but I want to keep cattle out late, so I've decided against cutting silage this time of the year. I'd hope we'll get a reasonably good graze out here, because these aren't on the advantage feeder. They're only on say 2 kilos a day, so they should graze out good enough. But what you need to graze these type of covers now is weather. You need sunshine. Or if it's raining in this, you'll just walk 3/4 of it into the ground. But I think we'll get a good enough clean out here. It's only parts of the field that's heavy, but there is a lot of grass there. But I suppose just to touch a little bit on autumn grassland management, we'll say, depending on your stocking rate and depending what part of the country you're in, really and truly, after the 15th of October, once a paddock is grazed, you don't want to be going back there for the year. So you want to think to yourself now, right, where am I going to start grazing next spring? You probably want a field close enough to the yard, as sheltered as possible, and with as many access points to it as possible, because that'll, if the weather is bad, that'll allow you to get in and graze it easier. And that's where you need to start closing your pass. That's where you need to start finishing grazing, basically. And once you go past the 15th of October, don't go back in there, because you need that time to build up a cover. Like, what grass you'll graze, all the first 75% of the grass you'll graze in the spring will all be grown in the autumn. So if you graze too late, you're not going to be able to get out early in the spring. And spring grass is worth an awful lot more than autumn grass. Right, there was a figure there a couple of years ago, I think, is it spring grass is worth maybe, just for argument's sake, say 120 a kilo, and autumn grass is worth say 70 cents a kilo. Is it per kilo dry matter? I can't remember the exact figure, but ballpark there, the types of that's the type of benefit you'll get with spring grazing over autumn grazing. Now look, we're aiming to keep cattle out a lot longer than we would have before. So look, there won't be anything housed in October anyway, definitely not, no way, because we won't have room anyway. And I'd be hoping to keep a lot of them out into December even. And maybe some of them, I think the heifers up in the hill farm won't go in at all. But they may not. Now we have about nearly 70 acres of forage rye to bring into the rotation as well. And we'll be using that then we'll probably graze that last where we do have it, because that wants to be grazed as close to Christmas as possible. And you want to get your you don't want to be grazing forage rye in November and then go back grazing grass in December. You'd be far better off grazing your grass earlier, leave that be going back and building up for the spring. So remember, the 15th of October is the day, depending on where you are in the country and your soil type and your stocking rate and etc, etc, etc. But yeah, and you could nearly say that spring grass is nearly worth twice that of autumn grass. So that's why we focus in the autumn actually on spring grazing, nearly more so than autumn grazing. We're going pre-emming the barley there now today, so we're taking off the row crops and putting on the fat tyres. Always turn trailed wheels backwards than you would have driven wheels, because according to the boss it keeps them turning in soft conditions. So I can't prove anything to the contrary, so I'll just do as I'm told.
This is Cork, in Cork down by the Lee. This is Cork, marine capital city. This is Cork, in Cork down by the Lee. This is Cork.
Job done. Tell you one thing. It's a bit warm for that crack now today. It's started pouring out of me. Anna? Right. Let's go up now and check that it's not gone. We looked at it yesterday morning and thought it was alright, but we were afraid now it might be gone beyond pre-merging it, so we're going to go up and have a look at it there now. Next job now is getting these boys in for dosing. Dad is going spraying. And we're going dosing tasks. Their new fancy weight block. Come on boys. Dosing away here now. One man band. I have my sidekick with me though. Alright Leah. Safest place for kids when there's cattle being worked. So I'm just giving them Levis Fast Diamond. This is their second dose of the year. Or Levis Fast low volume. They were done with Sidectin LA early on, like in I think about late June. So look, I could probably get another little bit out of them, but I did a couple of junk samples and there was worms showing up, so best to go with them. But they're fair whoppers, the calves now. You wouldn't realise how big they are until you'd have them in. Now look, there's a couple of handy ones. He's handyish, but in the main they're serious calves. But there's a lot of feed gone into them. Job done. We'll just wait for Fong and Dad to finish. Dad's spraying and Fong is filling feeders, so they're going back across the road here, so we'll have to wait for them. What you think? They're good calves? Can you come out? Will we go back to the yard?
No.
We'll go back to the yard and get Grandad and we'll put them out in the field then, will we? Fong as well, yeah. Okay. I'm going off power harrowing, but just before I do, I'm going to get the silage pushed in here now. So save me doing it when I get home, because I'll be late enough when I get back this evening. And just putting in there's a tiny bit of grass seed still to be put in for a customer. It is fairly late for grass seeds, but it's down beside the coast and it'll be up in, I'd say, a week, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. They just want it for next spring. We'll be getting out in the Missouri in the case now again tomorrow. that'll be we're going to get more ground ready for winter barley, so hopefully we should be finished sowing winter barley now by the weekend if the weather plays ball. At the moment it looks like it's going to, and we'll probably toughen them for a week maybe before we go at oats and wheat, just a little bit early. So, but it's a busy week now because there's only some of the ground cultivated, some of it isn't, so what isn't cultivated must be done. So, plenty on. There's one pen there, the outside pen needs to be bedded down now. I don't know if that's what they're supposed to. There was a bit of rain there Saturday evening, so I'm going to get that bedded down there now and put out 2 bales. They'll be out for the morning as well. Boys will sleep well tonight, like being in a 5-star hotel. I don't usually give them this much, but just the fact that their bed is a little bit wet, I want to dry it up a bit. Probably needs to be mucked out, to be fair. I wouldn't say there'll be too much mucking out on this week now. Literally, you wouldn't see them inside in the depth of the straw there. But they'll be happy out. Just down here started power harrowing now, and look, you can see the ground, it's down by the coast. It's literally like sand. It's probably the sandiest ground I've ever farmed, so, but yeah, that's to see there. A sailor went to CCC to see what he could CCC. But all that he could CCC was a maize field and need to be power harrowed. So, anyway, look, that's perfect. Now it'll still take another day to dry out, I suppose. But that'll be grand. I'm only sort of levelling it and giving it a fluff up, and we'll come along and sow it then tomorrow. So it'll be fine. It won't take long. It's only about 8 acres here. So get on and get it done now. Oh, no, steer on now. For a couple of hours, watch a few YouTube videos maybe. Now here we go. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm just going at a slight angle to where I cultivate it, just to make sure that I level off all the chance. So I just put it on the counter to be finished. Oh Jesus, leave me alone. I have to get a pick for this and a thumbnail for that. So the problem is, some clever cards might know what it is. This thing here on the bottom of the orbital unit, I assume, or however you say it, orbital unit. I'd say it's some sort of solenoid or something. I could see the smoke. I couldn't see the oil, but I could see the smoke. And I'd say it's just from the oil dropping down in the engine. But second anyway. And I've only like a couple of runs done. I don't even know, can it be tightened or anything like that. I was on the way down here last week and it lashed rain, and I turned around and go home again. Oh. Anyone who knows what that jockey is called, comment so I can get a new second one tomorrow. Well, you will be watching this a day behind, so I'll have it going, but second anyway. Right, back to the yard again. Jesus. Right. back to the yard we go. Have I ever? No, I'm not going to drive over and cover it. Now I was after looking and looking and looking. I knew I could, like, driving up the field when the wind was going against me. I could smell the smoke out the back. I said, what the fuck is that? And I looked everywhere. I stopped. I looked everywhere. I could see nothing. But it's obviously when the tractor's revved up. When the tractor's revved up and the smoke was blowing, the wind was blowing the smoke back out on the tractor. It's only the oil just boiling from landing at the end. Something that's boiling. But then flipping anyway, back to the yard, right? So I'm back in business. There was just an O-ring in this fella. So I changed the O-ring and it stopped leaking there now, so it's now 25 to 8, so I'll give it up. You can hear by my voice that I didn't have a overly relaxing weekend, so I might call it a day. Yeah, so I'm going to call it a day for today because tomorrow's another day and I have a meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow and I'll have the horses ridden out and the cattle all fed before it. So it'll be a 5 o'clock start again. If I go down there now, won't be back till 12. No, thank you. It's a long week that we get it done. The forecast is dry, so. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And do like and subscribe now, because I could do it a few pounds because she could be getting a change, but I won't. Not with the money out of tillage at the moment, anyway. You just couldn't even dream about going out buying it to buy a tractor. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again tomorrow for more Downhill Farms. Good luck.